know where he's sending us. There's nothing but sand out here.
Gorvin, are we getting close?
I'm sending the information to your screen now. You should be very close to the entrance.
The entrance to what?
I'm guessing the entrance to that.
A military base? I didn't know this was here.
It is a top-secret missile base and test range. They were conducting weapons tests yesterday and something was uncovered. We think it's this.
Hey, I know what that is. It's part of an industrial water conditioning system. They use it on aquatic worlds to lower the ambient temperature near geothermal vents.
I thought your alien tech knowledge was limited to weapons and auto parts. What did you do, brush up against a scientist and accidentally absorb his brain?
Hey, it's not like you guys get to corner the market on geekiness. I know stuff too. Like, well, a lot of stuff.
Gorvin, are you sure it's in this base?
Either inside or somewhere on the grounds, yes. And you need to hurry. I'm detecting lots of activity. Either the soldiers are trying to recover the device, or someone or something else is trying to beat them to it.
All right, we're on it.
Kevin, aren't you coming?
Nah, maybe we should all just stick to what we know. You go and fight alien bad guys, and I'll just sit here and think about auto parts.
So now what? We can't just break in, it's government property.
Well, that door is open, so it wouldn't technically be breaking in. You go inside and see if you can find a way to bypass the security systems.
What about you?
Me? I'm going in through the front door.
These guys aren't quite as scary when they don't have their pickaxes. They're pretty easy to take out, but can be dangerous when they attack in numbers.
Everybody agrees. I always wanted to say that. Monkey around for a while.
You just lost your hero!
I'm at the main gate. I don't see any guards, but I can't get through without breaking it down. Any luck on your end?
Not yet. These tunnels go on forever. Just stay where you are for a little bit. I'll let you know when I find a way to open it. Let's see you get through this. I'm tougher than I look. Back off! That's more like it. These 4 panels control the gates. Looks like the values have to be set and locked in at each panel for the gates to open. That should do it, Ben.
Cool, thanks.
smell of success.
That's pretty cool tech. Pickaxes that work as ranged weapons. Keep moving or you'll get zapped. And
If you can't stand the heat, get out of the swamp.
Today's forecast, cold and a chance of ice.
you? I've made it to the missile silos, but there's no way to get across. The controls to close the silos must be inside somewhere.
I think I see another control room ahead. I'll see what I can do. I had nothing to do with it. work? Are the silos closed?
Yeah, that's got it. See if you can find a way out to the east. I'll meet you there.
Fired.
Stuck? Huh. I thought you had this Omnitrix thing down cold.
Looks like you took the easy route. Lucky you.
Easy? This place is crawling with aliens. Not to mention the fact that you're calling me for help every time you hit a roadblock.
Yeah, about that. I'm standing on the edge of a canyon across from the missile range. There's some kind of beam blocking my way. I can see an entrance to the underground tunnels at the bottom. Any chance you could come out here, shut down the beam, and then, do your thing and help me across?
nothing to do with it. You guys are just plain unlucky. Safer out.
Looks like the beam is coming from those emitters.
You think?
I bet if you take out the power generators, that will shut down the emitters.
That's more like it. Habits die hard. Safer already.
stepping stones?
What would you do without me?
This'll be a gas! It wouldn't hurt to put these things a little closer together, you know.
According to the map, this is the place, but where's the component?
You mean this component?
Oh, great. Volcanus. I guess I should have known you were around. I spent my whole day plowing through your little pickaxe friends. You should really hire yourself some better minions.
They have served their purpose. Now it's just you and me. And this time, you're not going to get away with stealing what is rightfully mine. I only wish you had brought your friend Levin with you. I have a score to settle with him as well.
Well, he's not exactly my favorite person today. He's probably asleep in his car on the road outside the base. You're welcome to take your best shot at him. Of course, you'll have to deal with me first.
Why do you keep in my business? my ticket off this rock. You can't have it. Make me blow you up. Excellent. You managed to retrieve it.
Yeah, not that Volcanus was too keen on the idea.
Volcanus, yes. He has been meddling quite a lot in our business. He'll have to be dealt with eventually.
What do you mean, dealt with?
Just that the plumbers will have to open a formal case. He seems rather troublesome.
That's an understatement.
Yes. Well, I'd better put this away for safekeeping.
Hey, wait a minute! I'm telling you, that guy is trouble. I don't trust him. He's hiding something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Look, I spent my share of time being the bad guy, and you kind of develop a sixth sense about... Wait. You what now?
I said I think you're right. I don't trust him either.
Well, okay then.
If you two actually agree on something, it's gotta be worth checking out. It certainly couldn't hurt to do a little digging.
Yeah, but we better wait until we know he'll be distracted for a while. Then Gwen can hack into the computers in this place and find out what it is that Gorvin is hiding.
While I was on my way back here, I believe I had a flash of brilliance.
A legend in his own mind. Ow!
Ah, there it is.
It looks like it's in Parkville. That's a town near the mountains north of here.
Yes, but I can't pinpoint the exact location. The power signature was particularly hard to find. It must be well hidden and shielded.
What's that all about?
It's nothing. The plumbers are requesting an account of our progress.
Don't let us stop you. Radio's right there.
I must report in person. My contact is meeting me shortly at the underground entrance below. I cannot discuss important matters on an unencrypted channel. You should go to Parkville as quickly as possible. All three of you. If you split up and search, you'll have a better chance of finding the object quickly. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Okay, here's our chance. You two stay here and see what you can find in the computer. I'll take care of this one on my own.
Xena...
Fire! Feeling a little swamped.
These DNA aliens are armed with the devices they use to cut...
If only you could change into a fast red alien form that could fly.
Today's forecast?
If only you could change... If only you could change into a fast red alien form that could fly.
You later. So much trouble.
D and alien soldiers don't need weapons.
in the hot seat. Smell of success. You can't stand the heat. Get out of sweat. Swamped.
Come into my hands off.
This'll be a gas!
You need to get across to that other roof. Is there anything you could knock down to make a bridge?
Usually I'd say don't monkey around, but in this case...
Time for a little monkey business.
There's a massive energy read almost directly below you. You need to find...
swamp gas. There's fire.
Duck? Huh. I thought you had this Omnitrix thing down cold.
Gwen, I found the component in a hidden chamber under the fountain at City Hall. It looks like it's being used as a power source for a xenocyte hatchery. A pretty good one, too. It's freezing in here.
According to the plans on file, you're in an unused section of the City Hall sub-basement. I've hacked into their old security system. I'm looking at the room now. You need to shut down all of those power switches on the walls for the hatchery equipment. After you do that, you should be able to remove the component safely. Be careful.
Where's Gorvin?
Still hanging out with the bats downstairs, I guess.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. I haven't gotten anywhere with this computer. Everything's locked out. I did find a file cross-linked to Gorvin's record that looks like it was recorded by Grandpa Max, but even that's password protected.
What's the date on the file?
Just over 5 years ago. Why?
Let me give it a try.
I've been at this for hours. What did you type?
Flutterworms. Yeah, Grandpa Max considered them a delicacy.
Especially live. I totally forgot about those things.
He never made you try them. Ah!
Log file continued. Subject, investigation of the plumber Magister Gorvin.
Grandpa Max!
Our ongoing investigation has tracked the missing alien tech to Gorvin, but he apparently disposed of or sold the items before we could recover them. Gorvin has also disappeared. At this point, we have no way to know why the tech was stolen or who might have it now. We have issued a galactic rim-wide alert for Gorvin. He is considered to be extremely dangerous and possibly armed. With weapons, that is. If encountered, he is to be placed into custody immediately. End log.
Gorvin is a fugitive. Earth is the perfect place to hide since there aren't any full-time plumbers stationed here anymore. And if he's still in the business of stealing alien tech...
Then we've been doing his dirty work for him. We've got to stop him and find out what he's doing with all this tech. Kevin, why don't you... Where'd he go?
Ben, look! He must have used his plumber's badge to open the door. I bet he went to find Gorvin.
I better go after him. There's no telling how dangerous Gorvin will be when he finds out we know his secret.
Whoa.
Kevin? Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. You're not gonna believe what I found. Gorvin has been hiding tons of alien tech, and it looks like most of it is hybrid stuff.
But you haven't found Gorvin?
Nah, not yet. But oh man, there are a ton of xenocyte eggs down here. This is not good.
Eggs? Kevin, just stay put and don't touch anything. Ben is...
Glenn? Hello? Whatever. That four-armed phony is probably bugged out. Not that I couldn't take him myself anyway.
You think so? Well, my young meddling friend, I'm sorry to inform you that you aren't worth my time. I usually let my little friends handle the light work.
Friends? What friends? Oh, those friends. Right. Well, you guys must have loads to talk about, so I'll just take off now.
Commanders carry the best weapons
Stuck? Huh. I thought you had this Omnitrix thing down cold. We're in a hurry, so usually I'd say don't monkey around. But in this case, boy, bet it would take something huge to deal with this situation.
Time for me to fly!
Forecast cold with a chance of ice.
Kevin! Where are you?
Right behind you, Tennyson.
Oh no. Hey, Kevin! Don't worry, I can help you.
I don't need your help. I've never felt better in my life. You know, I forgot how much fun it is to be the bad guy. Your history. Your history. I'm gonna wipe the floor with you. That was the last one of those! Now I can't absorb metal! No! Can't absorb wood. Prepare to have your butt decisively kicked. Fine. I don't need to absorb anything to take you out. I can beat you with one claw tied behind my back.
You want a piece of me?
Plus D and alien equals unstoppable. Maybe you should start working out. That was pretty weak. Fighting back. You're making me mad. Quit fighting back. You're making me mad.
Okay, Kevin, let's try this again. That is so not fun.
Oh, my head. What happened?
I found you in here. You were antisocial, angry, and had a xenocyte stuck to you.
And now I'm back to normal?
Yep, no more xenocyte. Now you're just antisocial and angry.
Nice. Well, while you've been messing around in here, Gorvin's getting away.
You're welcome.
Whoa.
You're in no shape to fight. Get back up to the control room when you can and stay with Gwen. I'll track down Gorvin and take care of him myself.
Sorry to give you the cold shoulder. the road.
Ben, those crystals are part of the base's power grid. When they're green or yellow, they're safe. Make sure you're not standing on one when it turns red. Ben, those crystals are part of the base's power grid. When they're green or yellow, they're safe. Make sure you're not standing on one when it turns red. Ben, those crystals are part of the base's power grid. When they're green or yellow, they're safe. Make sure you're not standing on one when it turns red.
Too slow!
There's swamp gas. There's swamp gas. There's fire. There's swamp gas. There's fire. There's swamp gas. There's fire. swamp gas. There's fire.
To my parlor.
Swamp gas. There's fire. There's swamp gas. There's fire.
To my parlor.
Just get...
There's swamp gas. There's fire.
Is it me? Did it just get chilly? Oh, maybe it is me. Okay, Gorvin. I know you're here. It's time you told us why you lied to us, and what you're doing with that alien tech you tricked us into stealing.
I'm through talking to you. You and your friends have served your purpose. I have what I need, and soon it will be in the hands of my associates.
The hybrid? I thought you were smarter than that. As soon as they get what they want, they'll eliminate you along with everyone else. They think we're all inferior beings.
That's none of your concern. I'll worry about them. You need to worry about yourself. I'll give you one chance. Leave this place and mind your own business. Otherwise, you'll end up like your unpleasant friend, Kevin.
Sorry, no deal. I'll just have to take my chances. Besides, you gotta know by now that I've got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Indeed you do. But I know all about your tricks. Your grandfather was no match for me. And neither, I suspect, are you. Refreshing. Bet you wish you had one of these. Swamp gas. There's fire. Rejuvenator! You'll pay for that, Ben Tennyson! Cut back on the clouds. You wish you had one of these. You'd make a good plumber. Too bad. Bet you wish you had. And smelly. Ooh, I'm a double threat. Do your worst. Go ahead. Make my day. Not as I used to be.
Did it just get chilled? Oh, that is me.
So you get anything out of the four-armed felon?
No, but he's out of commission. I found some holding cells below.
Guys, I've scanned the whole base. There's no sign of any of the tech that Gorvin tricked us into stealing.
At least Gorvin didn't have a chance to give that to the hybrid.
Yeah, it's a good thing too. No telling what somebody could do with that if they were up to no good.
You guys mind telling me what exactly that is?
It's called the sub-energy. It's a subatomic energy source. One of the most powerful in the galaxy.
An alien race gave one to the plumbers years ago. It was stolen by an ex-plumber named Driscoll.
Sounds like the plumbers should have a better employee screening process.
We thought that was the only sub-energy on Earth, but this can't be the same one. Ben destroyed that one.
Well, wherever it came from, we need to make sure it doesn't get into the bad guy's hands. If you destroyed the last one, you can take care of this one, right?
Oh man, I was just starting to be able to eat spicy foods again.
Your interference has forced me to deal with you vermin directly and obtain this energy source myself. No matter. When we have completed our objective, you and your entire genetically inferior race will no longer be in any position to meddle in the affairs of the hybrid.
What did he mean by that?
We better find out. Gwen, can you track him?
Normally there'd be no way to do it, but the sub-energy is so powerful I should be able to find it if it's anywhere within 1,000 miles. Got it. Oh no. Look at this. This is a satellite view not far outside Bellwood.
A hybrid weather tower.
No big deal. We've dealt with those before.
Not one like this.
Okay, that's bad.
If one weather tower can freeze a whole town...
An array like this one could freeze the entire coast. Maybe even half the country.
We're responsible for this. We let Gorvin trick us into getting those components. And now, it's up to us to destroy that weather array.